All right, guys, another episode of shellanomics. We are at the start of a new era with Nickelodeon being the owners of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I still can't believe it. I never thought I would see that in my lifetime, that a big company like a Nickelodeon or a Disney would own the franchise I fell in love with many years ago. Today is a special day. We're going to be breaking down season 1 of the 2012 series. We're back again with our buddy here, the Wikipedia of Ninja Turtle info, Christian, aka TMNT Dare Talk, with his own amazing podcast in 2 languages. Christian, let's talk about this really quick here first, my friend. Some of these cartoons you told me before, they didn't release in your country. So when did you first get to hear about the 2012 series? Did you get it close to the time that the United States released it?
I did. Of course, I heard about it on the internet when the property was sold to Viacom Nickelodeon back then. And then, yeah, there's a new cartoon coming. It's a CGI and so on and so forth. Okay, interesting. And yeah, we got the show. We got the whole show. That's first off, because with the 2003, we only got the first 2 seasons over here. But with the 2012 show on Nickelodeon, we got all 5 seasons and was very happy with that. And we really got it close to the US release. I think it was like, I don't know, a month or 2 months after the US release, we got it over here. So it was really close, and that was great. And also, we got the whole show on DVD. Also, something that's not always a given with the TMNT shows. But yeah, I've got the whole show, all 5 seasons on DVD, and I'm very happy for that.
Well, same here. This is the last. Well, I think this is. No, I did buy the Michael Bay movies. This was like some of the last TMNT media that I bought as well. Besides this and the Batman movie, because it's getting harder and harder, anyways. Like you said. So first thought of this. Now it's been a couple years, to set the stage. 2003 Saga's done. Laird's done. I see these turtles, and I'm sorry, but I said, what the shell? This it doesn't look like a Ninja Turtle. I said it looks like Gumbies. How they're running, I didn't like. The preview made me really pull back, but then I forgot. I'm like, wait, Mike, you're going to be 30 years old soon. This is directed at kids. You got to give it a chance. This is not directed for a 28-year-old. At the time I was born. So I'm like, all right, I'm still going to give it a shot. I could be wrong, but I believe in the States it was released on a Friday, and it was a nice 2-parter. Before we get into that though, what did you think of the voice cast? Nickelodeon obviously has a lot more money than the other stations, so we're going to talk about a couple celebrities that pop on. But for the starting 4 here, your 4 turtles, did you like all of them?
Oh yeah, I mean when I first saw the first previews, you know how it is with CGI stuff. It's always hit and miss. But when I first saw the first preview of the show, I was like, okay, I'm still not 100% sure. I always want to be positive when it comes to turtles. Hey, something new turtle stuff, always there for it. I was like, I don't know CGI. You know how it is. Because the first thing when people heard that a new Nickelodeon show with the turtles was coming on, it's like, that's gonna be for babies and stuff like that. And I'm like, come on, we're talking about Nickelodeon. Yes, they have funny stuff like SpongeBob, but they also created stuff like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a fantastic show. So come on, and yeah, it became one of the big one. I'm a big fan of the show, and as I said, the first thing. Do we want to know what the biggest problem I had with these characters? It was not. It had to do with the design. Not like there's like, oh, I don't know about the CGI. But the biggest problem I had with the design of the turtles was they had 3 toes. TMNT always had 2 toes. This is the first show that the turtles had 3 toes, and it was like, this is tradition. You're breaking the tradition. You cannot do this. This was really the biggest problem I had. But yeah, but I grew to love it, and I'm a big fan. And I realized that with CGI you can do stuff that you cannot do with 2D, like some camera movement and stuff like that. That makes really the action. We're gonna talk about it, I think.
Oh yeah.
The action really fluent, and it's really it's really its own thing. It did it the best it could. And yeah, talking about the voice cast, yeah. Honestly, I'm a big fan of the voice cast. I mean, they brought back Rob Paulsen. He was Raphael in the classic cartoon. Now he was Donatello, and I wasn't sure about it, but it totally worked. And we had others. Hey, Greg Sipes, didn't know anything about him, but he became Michelangelo. He was such a great Michelangelo. The goofy stuff, the serious stuff, he could totally do it. It was fantastic. Sean Astin as Raphael, great. And Jason Biggs at first as Leonardo. Once again, wasn't sure about it, but it totally worked. Yeah, as I said, I wasn't sure at first, but after some episodes, I was like, okay, you got me. I'm there for it. I love it. The action is great. The humor is fantastic. I was laughing out loud sometimes. And overall, the whole stories and everything, the twists and turns in the stories, I became a really big fan of this show. And yeah, it also can get really dark and gritty sometimes. And so yeah, just my quick opinion on this show overall.
We have the biggest shock in the world. We're going to get to later on in the show. The biggest shock in the world that I don't think me and you ever saw coming. I can't wait to talk about that with you later on. But my thoughts with this voice cast, I'm like, wait a minute. Now, I like Jason Biggs. I liked him in the American Pie movies growing up. Did he fit as Leonardo? He did a decent job. I had no problem with him. Rob Paulson coming back. Hey, the sarcasm's watered down a little bit now in the Nickelodeon verse, so... And they wanted to go a different direction with Raphael. I think Sean Astin did great as Raph. Greg Sipes, as you say, I'm very picky with my Michelangelos, as we've talked about in other shows, and he delivered. He knocked it out of the park. And Rob as Donnie, no problem there either. The other voices were great too. The only thing was, again, it's like, I'm a Mikey guy, but why is he not using his nunchucks all the time? What's this other weapon? Calm down, Mikey. It's like, calm down, Mikey, son. He'll get his nunchucks, don't worry. But just first impression, I was like, ugh. But I'm going to watch it anyways. And before we get into it, one more question here. How did you like the theme song? I'm going to go first. I enjoyed it. I think it sets the tone and the stage of what this show is going to become. They pay a lot of homage to the original show that me and you grew up on. They have everybody down with nice, little character introductions. Decent action scenes. Again, it took me a while the animation, like you say, it had to grow on me a little bit, but I like how it was dark and they were kind of walking in the shadows to the degree. What were your thoughts on the theme song here?
Once again, I thought that it was cool that it felt like a remix of the classic cartoon with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and but after a few listens, I gotta say it's a banger. And still to this day, I like. Hey, it really gets me into the mood for like, yeah, cool ninja action. Let's get it on. I think the animation at the start is cool. Something they did with this show that I was always fascinated by is that with after a while they change the stuff that we see during the theme song. It's not for 5 seasons. It's not always the same. Like they change the turtles or characters that we see in the background of the theme song. That change. Like in season 2, we see Casey Jones suddenly in the background that we did not see in the first season, and just stuff like that. That changed it around with the theme song and the song for itself. As I said, it became really a banger, and nowadays I'm really whenever I hear it, I'm like, okay, let's get it on. I'm in the mood for some Ninja Turtle action, and yeah, it's cool. It's great.
Yeah, no, I agree all the way. I enjoyed it. So let's get into both parts here with Rise of the Turtles. Mom, take it away.
Yeah, in these 2 episodes, we get introduced to the turtles who are living in the sewers, the usual stuff. Splinter's training them. We find a little bit about the background. Splinter was Hamato Yoshi, and yeah, he got some mutagen on him and was mutated into a rat, and the turtles were mutated into humanoid turtles. And now, 15 years later, they celebrate their mutation day. They are finally able to go to the top side and to find out about the real world. And they get introduced to pizza. Just one of the funniest moments when Michelangelo tries pizza for the first time. I'm always laughing at that. And yeah, they run into two people. One of them is April O'Neil and her father, who getting kidnapped by some mysterious man. So the turtles try to save them, to use the ninja skills. They fight these mysterious people who turn out to be some kind of alien creatures who are the Krang, as we find out. And yeah, they try to save April and her father. And yeah, in the end, they are able to save April while fighting the Krang, while fighting a new mutant called Snakeweed, who is this gigantic plant creature. And yeah, they're able to save April, but her father gets kidnapped, and the turtles are promise April that they will save her father. And so that was the introduction of the turtles to April. And yeah, from that moment on, they are a team, they're a family. One quick fun fact: in the German dub, Snakeweed is called Snake Fake, because I think it was never confirmed, but I think because weed sounds a little bit weird, because when you hear weed over here, it's yeah, it's about drugs. So yeah,
Oh god.
yeah,
So
that was the two-parter that introduced to us to this turtle word.
yeah, how'd you like them calling the mutagen mom? I thought that was cool. I liked it.
Fun, yeah.
A good time with that, and good action. It was almost like the 2003 pilot because, as you see, they bring everything together. You know, it was just a little bit of everything, a little taste of what's to come. I enjoyed this two-parter. It did a good job with Leonardo getting into like the space hero stuff. Should have
Oh yeah.
should have dropped the staff. How they all do a little skirmish in the beginning too. I thought that was good because it sets the tone for who's going to be who. And what was your take on Raphael being the muscle here? They really pushed him being like almost the best fighter out of the four.
Yeah, totally. That's something that's I mean, just remember in the 2007 TMNT movie, Rev versus Leo, who comes out at the end? It's Rev. So yeah, it's really cool to see like this whole thing here with Rev, and he's really you as you said, you get the characters from the start. Rev is really angry and he's really aggressive sometimes. And yeah, that's something that develops over time with him, with his character. I mean, he always stays rough, but yeah, that's cool. And as you said, we get to know who the turtles are. Mikey's fooling around. Donnie is the smart one. Leo is the leader character. I mean, he gets called the leader by Splinter here. Like once again, funny moment. I have to think about who of you is gonna be the leader. Leonardo is gonna be it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep. And then
Um,
and why did he
yeah,
get it? Because he asked.
yeah, simple as that.
Oh, that was good stuff. So here we go. Now this is where the fun begins for me because I'm a big WWF WWE fan, and sometimes when celebrities come in, it kind of kills the vibe. Like either a Logan Paul gets a lot of hate, and some other guys who just were trying to fight. But there are a lot of celebrities that come in here, and this one, I was like, wait, I know that voice of the villain here. I'm like, that's Lewis Black, the stand-up comedian in this next one, Turtle Temper. I thought he did a great job making fun of Raphael with those salad tongs. So feel free to take us away on episode number 3 here.
Yeah, turtle temper. And as you said, Louis Black, hey, wasn't he perfect here? It's like
Yeah.
the role is written for him. Yeah, there's this whole thing where we meet a character named Wick, who yeah, causes the turtles some trouble because he uses his phone to film the turtles, and the turtles try to get this back from him because the world shouldn't know about them. And yeah, then Wick gets kidnapped by the Krang, and the turtles try to save him. And there's this whole thing with Raphael and his anger issues. Like Wick always provokes him, and Raph always gets angry and wants to beat up the guy. And well, in the end, Wick gets mutated into a mutant spider called Spider Bites by Mikey. That's also a thing that's introduced in this show, that Mikey is the one who gives the mutants their mutant names. And he calls him Spider Bites. And yeah, the turtles fight him and the Krang. In the end, his phone gets destroyed and Spider Bites flees. So that story, well, that's pretty much it. It's the story. The story is over. And everything turns out fine. But well, once again, another mutant out in the city. Yeah,
Yeah, man, showing Raphael with his anger issues again, totally fine. It's not beating a dead horse in your opinion. We enjoy those stories from time to time, and I like this little take on it. So, coming into our next one though, would you like a friend request on Facebook, Christian? And new friend, old enemy.
oh, of course. Yeah, that's it's once again, it's a very cool episode. One of my favorites of the early ones, I gotta say, because first off, it's very interesting that Mikey. We see Mikey. He wants friends. He wants to go out in the real world. Wants to talk to real people. That's so Mikey. And so April introduces him to social media, and he looks up one of his favorite martial artists called Chris Bradford, and they become friends online, and then they meet up. And well, unfortunately, in the end, it turns out that this Bradford character is working for the Shredder, a mysterious new character that we don't know about in this show, but he's a bad guy, and Splinter knows something about him. Like, oh, he's a bad guy. Don't come too close to him. So there's a big fight with Bradford and his partner Xaver, and gotta say, the action in this episode is fan freaking tastic. The final fight between the turtles and Bradford and Xaver is just so cool, so good, so fluent, so yes, just so good. And yeah, they beat them up in the end. And well, there's a wonderful little moment at the end when Rev talks to Mikey because Mikey is frustrated, like, oh, I will never get a friend. And Rev's like, hey, you deserve better than such a psycho like Bradford. And hey, we still got me, and we're buddies. And so, nice little brotherly moment there.
Yeah, again,
Cool episode, great episode.
yes, fantastic. You get to see Raphael again, just with more character development. All four of them do get the love in this show, as you'll see as we go on and on. And I didn't mind Bradford at all with the Chuck Norris kind of homages, kind of the way I think they were going with that. The Facebook parody. Also, the shell cell starting to come up with the do when they get the ringtone. So again, just little Easter eggs like that, just for OG fans like us, it's exciting to watch because we're like, you got to keep your eyes peeled for what is going to drop next that we may miss. So here's another one that I enjoyed. This one. This is almost like the name of the episode is, I think his name is Baxter Stockman. Maybe they were paying homage to the old one, Dr. Polydorius from our episodes with Rebel Without a Fit in this one.
Yeah. First off, the ringtone for T-phone is also a ringtone of my iPhone. I took the same one.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I've got my own T-phone.
That is so cool.
So yeah, we're getting into the fifth episode. I think his name is Baxter Stockman, where we get introduced to Baxter Stockman, who is this frustrated inventor who wants to get revenge on his employer that he got fired from. And he's got like this robotic suit that he uses. And well, the turtles run into him, and as I said, yeah, the whole name thing, because throughout the series, that's a running gag. The turtles never get his name right. They're like, oh, it's Dexter Stinkman, it's Baxter Stockman. And yeah, but Donnie has built a T-bot, which is like an iPod with music from some weird technology. And Baxter gets his hands on it, and well, it transforms his robotic body into a real threat. So the turtles have to fight him, and well, together they are able to stop the Stockman bot. And yeah, so in the end, they're able to defeat Baxter Stockman, and that's our first introduction of this Baxter Stockman.
I didn't mind him too much. How about you? He's not my top. I think me and you both still love the 2003 Baxter the best, but I would say he's not the worst Baxter out there.
No, no, absolutely not. As you say, he's really different if you like compare him to the 2003 cartoon, because this Baxter Stockman is like he's smart, but he's like a little wimpy, more like the classic cartoon Baxter.
Hmm.
I gotta say, he's not that arrogant and like. I mean, he's a little bit arrogant. I gotta say, he really thinks that he is the smartest one. But as soon as like Shredder or someone comes in, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, boss, sorry, boss. Not like the 2003 cartoon where Baxter like got mutilated over the show, and still he was talking back to Shredder. And yeah, but yeah, it totally works. It's fine. It's a cool Baxter. It's an interesting take on Baxter.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree wholeheartedly. Coming to our next episode is Metalhead, and while you describe this episode, I want to hear your thoughts on this Splinter. My favorite Splinter is always going to be the original Toon Splinter because Peter Rennie just did such a fantastic job with his voice acting for us in the States. I learned a lot of lessons from him, and this Splinter is actually my second favorite. I really like the voice acting, and I love the lessons he teaches too.
Yeah, absolutely. This is always very interesting because this Splinter, he can totally kick butt, but he's also very smart, very caring. But yeah, he, if needed, he gives the turtles a smack on the head. And yeah, I really like him with, as you said, with his lessons because it's not always with this Baxter, say with the Splinter that he's always like, yeah, you have to like, I don't know, always do the right thing, never, I don't know, fight dirty or anything. Like in this version, Splinter is like, a good ninja never does harm until he has to do harm, then do really harm. And it's like, and it's he's not like, I mean, in the perfect world it would be like, hey, don't fight, uh don't hurt other people, but we're not living in a perfect world. Sometimes you have to fight back, or yeah, problems will only become bigger. So it's really interesting to see this Splinter like, hey, uh, as long as you can, don't fight, but if there's no other way, fight back and win any way you can. It's like a good Splinter. It's really an interesting character. It's like he's got some more facets. It's not like he's not like only like he's the good master, the good sensei, but there's more to him. It's very interesting character.
Yeah, and he's got a little comedic side to him too, which you don't really see too. I mean, you know, Mister, I made a funny every now and then, but I just like his tone. He's a little more relatable to I guess people in this one. That's why I enjoy him. So coming up next, this one's kind of a funky one. You are the horror guy, so you probably like this one more than me with the monkey brains. But this one was like, I was a little put back by the monkey brains here.
Did we talk about Metalhead?
Oh no, we did not. That's the one we were supposed to go to. We broke in this. I got too excited to talk about Splinter. I wanted.
I got a bit confused here.
Yeah, we skipped right over Metal. Yeah, let's get back into Metalhead here.
Yeah, because quick one. Donnie builds Metalhead because he's frustrated that he's fighting with a stick, and he builds Metalhead, a little robotic turtle. I'm a really big fan of this design of Metalhead. And it works really well for him. Like he's remote controlling the robot until the Krang are able to take him over the Metalhead, and then Donnie has to come in and he has to use his brain to fight his own invention, and well, his brain and his stick. And yeah, he's able to stop Metalhead, but Metalhead is still a part of the gang. He's still there. As I said, I like him, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a quick recap here.
Yeah, he's a little guy too. It's a little cute Metalhead almost. He's not a gigantic crazy one, and he's not my favorite incarnation of Metalhead. I like the OG one, just in the old, not the OG, but the one in the Fred Wolf cartoon, just because he has all the voices and then he gets a little crazy, and he takes care of the turtles when they're sick. It's just kind of weird, and then he ends up having like just a quick cameo where he's just cleaning up stuff. So. But nonetheless, I did enjoy this one, and I like Donatello's take on it, and again, I like Splinter's lecture here. So, anyways, though, I think I'm just too scared, so I want to blow over this episode real quick. Joking, but yeah, monkey brains. Look out.
Yeah, once again, very interesting episode. it's like setup episode for some things that happen later. Uh, because in this episode, yeah, April wants to find her, still want to find her father. So she's like, okay, there's still like other scientists disappearing over the city, and they find out about Dr. Rockwell that disappeared, and they talk to Donnie and April. They talk to Dr. Victor Falco, who's working with Rockwell, and then they run into a mutant monkey that Rockwell apparently was experimenting on. And this monkey, it's got like these psychic powers that it can feel like the thoughts and the feelings of others. And but in the end, it turns out that Victor Falco is actually the bad guy because he was the one who turned Dr. Rockwell into a monkey. And this is like the first one where where we see April. There's something more with April because she can feel what the monkey is feeling. She's like, hey, I know that he is Dr. Rockwell. I can feel it. It's like, it's like some kind of psychic powers. Huh? And yeah, and in the end, we've got a really cool fight because the whole story is about Donatello overthinking too much, all this stuff, and sometimes he just gotta act in a fight and not think about it too much because the Falco is using like some kind of drug on him that makes him psychic, that he can see what Donatello is thinking and like react before even something happens. Like he can see what he's gonna do, and so Donnie has to stop thinking, and then, well, Falco cannot read his mind anymore, and Donatello is able to defeat him, but he disappears in the end, and maybe he will come back later. Yeah, interesting Donnie episode there.
Yeah, and Donnie gets a lot of love in this. I don't know if it's because it was Rob Paulson, but a little twist on Donnie too. Oh, actually, I didn't get to ask this. How did you enjoy this crush he had on April? It was kind of, I don't want to say short lived, but were you okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was a bit weird,
Yeah.
but come on, he's a teenager. He sees a beautiful girl, and it's understandable, and it gets some interesting storylines later on with Donnie's crush on April, and like he's a mutant, she's a human, so. Could it be possible? And it's very interesting. It became like, I don't know, it became like a running gag over the show. Like it always comes back, but sometimes it gets a bit more serious. And it's like this whole thing, this trope. Like, could they? Should they? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't mind it. It was kind of cute.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything harmful at all. I think they were, like you say, maybe were poking their finger in the water just to see what the reaction was going to be from social media, since social media was getting bigger, obviously, in 2012 compared to the other
Yeah.
Turtle shows, so they can test the waters and get some feedback. So, no, I didn't mind it at all. Just wanted your take on that. So, coming up next, we're starting to get to the dun 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 with Never Say Zever.
Yeah, in this episode, we get introduced first off to Mr. Murakami, who's like this blind man who is running this Asian restaurant where the turtles go to. And then we get introduced to the Purple Dragons, who are these three characters in this version. And well, then, Sever and Bradford, they are still going after the turtles because Shredder told them so. And yeah, so in the end, well, I mean, the turtles fight the purple dragons, and because they want to lure out the purple dragons want to lure out the turtles, so they attack Murakami, they kidnap him, and well, there's this big fight in the end with Sever and Bradford, and they are able to save Murakami, who turns out knows that even though he's blind, he knows that the turtles are, well, turtles. But he's totally fine with it because they are good guys. He knows that they're good guys. That's cool. And yeah, the turtles are able to defeat the purple dragons and defeat Sever and Bradford in the end. So pretty much everything turns out fine. Uh, once again, quick little fun fact here: Mr. Murakami is voiced by Seb Shimono, who was Lord Norinaga in the 1993 movie in the Turtles 3. That's what's cool.
That's what I mean. You just you gotta pay attention to all these little Easter eggs and details here. We got a lot more special
Yeah.
celebrity voices coming in too, which gets me ultra hyped, including an April down the road. So that one's good. That was one of my favorites. Here we go though. You want to talk about action? Let's get right into this one, the Gauntlet.
Oh, dude. Well, this episode starts with the introduction of Pitch and Beat, who comes up to April because he was a prisoner of the Krang, and her father sent him to get April a message where he is, and the turtles try to rescue him. That doesn't work out, but the turtles and April find out that the Krang want to use a mutagen bomb in the city, so the turtles have to stop that. Sever and Fredford find out about this too, and there, well, a big fight between the characters. And yeah, and then, well, unfortunately, Bradford and Sever get some mutagen on them. But before that, the Shredder appears for the first time in front of the turtles. He's like, okay, I take care of business now. And dude, from the start, you realize this is no joke. This Shredder is deadly serious. He beats up the turtles. I mean, it there's some scenes, like some moments in this episode that are like taken directly from the first comic book, from the fight with the turtles between the turtles and Shredder, and it's like some callbacks, like awesome. And as I said, Shredder, like, he beats up the turtles, almost kills them, but then he sees that Bradford and Sever, they have been mutated into a dog and a fish, and the turtles are able to escape just because of that distraction. And yeah, so first run in with the Shredder, and dude, this he's he's badass. He's really a problem. He's not your classic Shredder. He's not a funny Shredder. He's serious. He's out for blood, and that does not really change over the course of this series. So yeah, Shredder is no joke here.
If it wasn't for the 2003 Shredder Christian, he'd be my top Shredder. I love the voice acting. I love how lethal he is. He can hold his own, and he's just out for revenge. And like you say, he's no good. Fantastic fight scenes too. I like how Mikey tried to get him for a little bit, like the grappling hook. He was trying to get some action with him, but Shredder's like, And it reminded me of the 1990 movie too. You know, where he's like, "I go myself."
Yeah.
He just headed up here with all his minions. Just a quick little break before we get into our next episode. How are you liking these new mutagen monsters? You know, there's no Bebop and Rocksteady yet, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is with stuff like this. It's like, okay, you know, they want to sell some toys. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm just looking behind me, and I've got all the TMNT toys behind me. It's like, yeah, it works. And yeah, honestly, it's like, okay, some new characters. That's fine. That's fine. We have some classic characters, and we get more classic characters later on. But it's always cool to get some new characters. And I gotta say, I always liked like Bradford and Sever, or as they will be later called, Dogbound and Fishface. They got some, it's some interesting twist there, because like this big hulking dog, and on the other hand we have this fish who later gets some robotic legs, and he's fighting uh, like this capoeira style. It's very cool. Once again, we get some really cool action scenes, and it's interesting. It's cool. I'm fine with introducing new characters if they work in the story, and in my opinion, they really work. They are fine in this version. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, no, I agree all the way. It's because it's a breath of fresh air. Otherwise, you could just watch the old show. You know, like you say, they're trying some new
Yeah.
things, and as you see, they'll get back to our OGs. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. They're just trying it out. You know, it's a brand new show. Nickelodeon's first, attempt at a Turtles animated series, and it works because you're gonna see, as this goes on, it wasn't Turtle Mania that we grew up with, but it was. I would say this one I think was more popular than the 2003 series as a whole, right? Am I
Yeah,
right? Just because of how they
yeah,
mass produced
think
so
so
many
too.
things, with all the toys they had. I mean, the Turtles 2003 had board games, but this one had tons of board games, little things that we grew up with, like little, toothbrushes, and it seemed like it was a lot more flooded in stores compared to the '03 show. But moving right along, we're almost coming to the halfway point here with Panic in the Sewers.
Yeah, and this well, Bradford, I mean, it's funny because I mean, I think it's cool because the show really takes its time with the characters. I mean, just look at Bradford as Sever. Like we get introduced to them, but they're not immediately mutated or anything. It takes some episodes. Like okay, now they're changing, and it's the same here when well, Bradford, who is now dogbound, caught by Mikey, is out there, but Sever, who is now a fish, cannot just go out. He's not okay. I'm going out into the city. He's well because he can't breathe in the air on air or land. He needs water, so he's well. Fishface Sever is like sidelined now. So Bradford, aka Dogbound, is now out, and well, he Shredder tells him to like use some chemicals and flood the sewers with these chemicals that will explode. And yeah, so the turtles have to stop him. And once again, we see like the turtles, they are not all powerful. They're not martial arts masters. They're still learning because they've got problem when they're confronting Dogbound. And they get better. They get better over the course of this series. But at first fight, like, okay, we've got a problem. There's this big hulking dog mutant. It's gonna be problematic. And yeah, also in this episode, we see the patrol buggies. They're like this go karts that the turtles use. And yeah, well, the turtles are able to stop Dogbound from well destroying the sewers in the end thanks to a water balloon. And yeah, that's it. I gotta say.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess real quick too is how are you enjoying Leonardo's TV show? I had so much fun watching those tidbits.
That was also so cool with the show that like every season they had a new TV show that the turtles were watching, and here we get introduced to Space Heroes, who's like this Star Trek parody, and it was always so funny, like this Captain Ryan, the Captain Kirk parody, and it was so funny, it was so cool, and with this Leonardo it really worked that he's got like this nerdy side to him and he's into the sci-fi stuff because he's got to be serious, he's got to be the leader, but when he unwinds he's just checking out some episodes of Space Heroes. And yeah, like Leo always tried to be like Captain Ryan, like to be the big leader. And it was really cool. It was really something funny that they did with the show, with all this like the show in the show that they introduced. I'm a big fan of that
Yeah.
idea.
I don't have it in my notes, but I'm wondering if you remember. There's one episode where he slaps somebody, and then Leo does it, and the turtle's like, "What are you doing?" Remember? Would you remember what episode that
Yeah,
was?
yeah, yeah. I
Is it
think you
coming
mean
up?
like it was in the first episode
Yeah.
or the second episode, because like yeah, that was also a running gag that Captain Ryan was always slapping someone,
Yeah.
and then Leonardo tried it when Mikey was going crazy, like I've seen like these brain creatures
That's
running
right.
around, and everybody's like you're nuts, and like and Leo slaps him like, did you just slap him? Yeah, I tried to calm you down. How should this calm me down?
I do remember that. Okay, good, good, good. I did remember that spot. Oh yeah, see, this is just a great, fun show, and you can see as we're getting more and more into episodes here. Now we get some more comebacks here with Mouser's Attack.
Yeah, as the title suggests, the Mouses attack. Yeah, we get the Mouses introduced, and Baxter Stockman is back. He's got the Mousers, and he's sending the Mousers after the Turtles. So there's a big fight there, and Dogbound also gets involved. The Purple Dragons are also back. It's a big, well, big crazy fight there. And the cool thing is that in this episode, in the end, Baxter gets well introduced to Shredder, and Shredder's like, "Hey, I see you've got a brain there. You're pretty smart with technology, and I can use that. So you're working now for me." So well, that's the start of that relationship. And yeah, so just a cool episode with the Mousers getting introduced and the Mousers going after turtles once again. Some big fight scenes. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, just another good. Like I say, this was another good show where there weren't too many episodes where I was like, you can skip this one because I really enjoyed just about all of these episodes, including the next one here where I'll have you explain the episode, and I'm curious about the chemistry that was going to develop because it's like I didn't expect this turtle to actually bond with a certain alligator. So take it away,
Yeah.
and it came from the depths.
Yeah, exactly. In this episode, we get introduced to this version of Leatherhead, who is this mutated alligator that was experimented on by the Krang. So he's really got a problem with the Krang, and he was, yeah, he was stuck in their dimension, and he was able to escape to Earth with uh, with a power crystal of the Krang, and the turtles run into him, and yeah, he's like this very aggressive character. He's just like I just want to beat up Krang. I would just want to eat some Krang. And but Mikey is the one who really bonds with him, who gives him his name, and he's like, "Hey, I see that you." It's like he sees that he is not evil. He's just like a tortured soul, and he really calms Leatherhead down. And yeah, it's really nice. It's this whole thing is really nice. They really bond there. It's really wonderful, and once again shows what a wonderful soul Michelangelo is. And yeah, so in the end, so the Krang, they go after Leatherhead. They want to get the power cell back. So the Leatherhead gives the power cell to the turtles to take care of it, and he beats up the Krang, and so well that's pretty much the end of that for now. So yeah, the turtles have a power cell, a Krang power cell, and we get introduced to Leatherhead. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, I like this one. I thought it was cool that again because Mikey's trying to see the good in him, and it just gives Mikey some good character development. Because again, it's like we said, how many times I gotta say it. I'm very picky with my Mikeys, and I like to see this side where he's always not. It's okay for him to be a dingaling and act silly and crazy, but when it comes down to it, when the chips are down, you can always count on Mike. So big ups to him for standing up for Leatherhead and getting that bond in there. And now we've got the next one. Kind of ironic. This is the 13th episode, and of course, it's got to be something spooky with I Monster.
Yeah, I Monster. If you may remember, there's a certain episode of Tales of the Teenage Mutant, certain comic of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that's also called I Monster, where we get introduced to the Red King. And here we have a very interesting twist on the Red King because we meet Victor Falco again, and he's experimenting on some stuff and some mutagen, and well, something goes wrong. There's an accident, and he gets disfigured, and he turns into the Red King. He gets the ability um, to control rats, to talk to rats, and so he wants to get revenge on the turtles. And he's even able to control Splinter for a while. But Splinter is then able to fight back the Red King. It's in some ways it's very reminiscing of the classic cartoon episode Enter the Red King, where like we also had this scene like Splinter is under control of the Red King, but the turtles like talk to Splinter, you know, you're good, you can fight him, you're stronger than him, and well, it works in the end. So Splinter in both episodes fights back the Red King and is able to defeat him. And yeah, once again, very creepy. The Red King. It's like in every iteration, the Red King is so different, but I'm always a big fan of him. It's like he's such an interesting character. I like these mysterious characters, and this Red King is so creepy. Um, with like this bandages over his eyes and the head and the long coat and this, oh, so creepy. Big fan of this Red King, gotta say.
Same here too, and yes, as our good friend Christian is giving me, like we said in a previous episode here on shellanomics on Spotify and YouTube, some summer school for me, late summer school, reading these Tales of the Ninja Turtles. We just finished the Rat King one, and hopefully you guys subscribe to our channel because you're not going to want to miss those episodes because I can't wait to talk about Rat King in that one. So, oh man, thank you again, my friend. Anyways, coming up to another one here, we get a familiar face a familiar face to us, but to these 2012 Turtles, she's a new face with New Girl in Town.
Yeah, you're completely right because in this episode, Leonardo runs into a new ninja and a female ninja, and that is none other than Karai, who is, well, in the Foot Clan, but immediately Leo takes a liking to her. It's like, hey, she's cute, she's cool, she's fun. She's like a little bit on the bad side, but she's cool. And it's so funny because there's this moment in this episode where Leo goes to April to talk to her about like, hey, I've met this girl. Oh, you met a girl, and yeah, her name is Karai, and well, but there's a little problem because she's in the Foot Clan. Yeah, you're totally right. There is a problem. Why? Because she's in the Foot Clan. Very cool. And well, it's like a bit like in the 2003 show because yeah, she's always on. She's also a bad character, working with bad characters, like working with the Shredder, who, as it turns out, is like the father of Karai, and but she's also like she's not completely evil because she in a way or another she helps the turtles when Snakeweed reappears. She helps them to fight them until she runs away. um so yeah, from the start we get like, okay, she's an interesting character. There's more to her than we see, but well, she's Shredder's daughter, so that's gonna be problematic.
Yeah, I kind of like how they did kind of implement a little bit of the original comic that me and you just kind of broke down a couple weeks ago, is because she isn't 100% evil, right? That's why I like. That's why I dig her.
Yeah,
Kind of like the exact
exactly.
same thing.
That's what I mean.
And actually, speaking of nicknames here, were you a fan of Mikey naming all the villains? Because I know he got ticked off about the Rat King. I thought that part was funny too. I forgot to mention.
Oh
that in my
yeah.
notes. He's like, I get to call the next bad guy here.
Yeah, because the Red King calls himself the Red King, and Mike is like, "That's such a lame name. I would have thought of something better."
Oh man, yeah, there's some good stuff here. So coming up next is the Alien Agenda.
Yeah. Once again, the Krang are up to no good. They are. Yeah, the turtles. They're actually going to April's high school because there's like this woman who attacks April, and well, that woman turns out to be a robot sent by the Krang. Uh, Once again, funny little thing that that robot is called Miss Campbell, and she's voiced by I forgot her real name, but she was Elvira, you know, the Mistress of the Night,
Oh
the
yes.
character. And yeah, but the turtles find out like, okay, the Krang are working to get like DNA samples from everything, and the turtles they uh, go to this Krang lab, and Karai finds out about this, and she's like very interested in these aliens, and it's funny because uh, she goes to Shredder, tells him, but there are some aliens out there that want to like cause trouble for Earth, and you know, Earth, we're living on Earth, and Shredder's like, I don't care about this at all. I just want my revenge on Splinter. But Karai is like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. So she goes there, and which is really funny thing because there's this whole thing where during the fight, like Karai presses all the buttons and all these DNA samples get mixed up and get mutated and turned into a mix and match creature. And once again, such a funny scene because Mikey wants to name it's like a I don't know octopus eyeball creature. No, it sucks. We're just gonna call him Justin. It's such a good scene. And yeah, the turtles they're able to well blow up the Krang lab, and in the end, Karai once again escapes. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep. And this one coming up next. This one was okay. This is probably one like it's not that I can't do without it. It was still okay in the pulverizer.
Yeah, it's like, but still, there's for the story, there's some really
Right.
interesting things because in this episode, first off, okay, of course, there's the main part where the turtles meet a character called the Pulverizer, who is this kid who dresses up like a turtle because he witnessed the turtles fighting Baxter way back in episode 5, and he was so fascinated by them, he became a fan a little bit like Zack the fifth turtle from a classic cartoon. And he's like, well, he's not a fighter, but Donnie like takes a little bit care of him, like tries to train him a bit to you can do good if you want. And but he is really a goofy character. He's just like more of a comedic side character here. But overall in the story, it's there's some some very interesting things because first off, uh, Sever, aka Fishface, gets robotic legs from Baxter, and well, the turtles. I think I forget to mention it. One, I can't remember from what episode, or is this the first episode the turtles used the Shell Racer, the new vehicle, the new car of the turtles in this version?
I want to say
That could
yes.
be it. Yeah, I think so too. And well, because Donatello uses um, the crystal, the energy crystal from the Krang that Leatherhead gave him to power the machine. But well, in the end, the Krang are able to get the energy crystal back from them, and that's gonna cause some trouble later on. So yeah, that's pretty much the. So of course, the main part is about this pulverizer character, this turtle fan who's just causing some trouble. But there's still some things, some good action scenes. Like there's also this funny scene where Raph gets bitten by Fish Face, and Fish Face got like this venomous fangs, and like that really poisons Raph, who like goes a little bit crazy there. So yeah, some good stuff. And the one main thing you got to take away, okay, now the Krang have their energy crystal back, so that's gonna be trouble.
Yeah, you got that right. And we won't let you take too many breaths because we'll get right back into it with TCRI.
Yeah, this episode, the turtles find out that the main headquarters of the Krang is TCRI, building in the city, and the turtles they sneak in there to stop the Krang because they want to use the crystal to power up the portal, their dimensional portal, to get well something from their dimension, which is Dimension X. And yeah, this once again great fights, big fights. Leatherhead is also there with the turtles, and then through this, the portal gets powered up, and the out of the portal steps this gigantic rock creature who is Track in this version. And there's a big fight, and in the end, Leatherhead is able to push Track back through the portal. The portal gets closed for now. But well, Leatherhead, he's lost now. He's lost in Dimension X, but for now, the turtles were able to stop the Krang from, well, getting something else from Dimension X.
Yes, this was one of the weirder reincarnations with General Track. I prefer the Fred Wolf one, but they use this Track a lot. I think he's in a couple of the video games of Nick Kart Racers. I think he's like a background character when you're driving around in
Yeah.
Nickelodeon's version of Mario Kart. So either way, it's still cool to see these characters pop up. But here comes another funky one with Cockroach Terminator.
Yeah, that's also interesting one because in this episode Donatello is using like a spy roach, like a roach that's got some stuff like a camera on it, and like this little guy falls into some mutagen and gets turned into the cockroach Terminator, like part cyborg cockroach mutant. Pretty funky design, gotta say. And well, he goes after the turtles, specifically after Raphael, because Raph, once again, just like in the 2003 show, is afraid of bugs. And yeah, so like we get some cool, as this title suggests, some cool callbacks to the Terminator movies. Like this character is like a powerhouse, like this unstoppable machine, goes after the turtles, and yeah, well, and there's like a side story with the Krang too. So the turtles have to stop the Krang once again with their evil plan, all the while getting hunted by the cockroach Terminator. And this big fight in the end. Well, it gets destroyed, but well, somehow it laid some eggs. So maybe we will see it come back later. Very cool, very cool, funny episode. It's like one of these episodes that you could call filler because it's like a closed off story. Like okay, there's the story with the cockroach Terminator. In the end, he's defeated, so it's over. But still, funny episode, cool episode. Once again, cool action scenes. Yeah, liked it.
Yeah, they did a really good job with their I think it was 26 episodes in season 1. So coming up next is what we got here. We have another episode with Baxter Stockman. Now, I kind of like Baxter popping in a lot of episodes here. Again, in the original show, we only had him for a couple episodes until he mutated into the Fly, and then he was just like a one-off every couple of years. He'd make like one episode. 2003, he had a lot of love, and in this show, he gets a lot of love early too in season 1.
Yeah, with the next episode, Baxter's Gambit. As I said, Baxter is working for Shredder, but he gets humiliated over and over again. So he's now out for revenge. Revenge on the turtles and revenge on Fishface and Dogbound. So he lures them all into his what was it called? The Maze of Doom, which is like this maze with all these traps. And well, the turtles, Fishface and Dogbound, they have to work together to get out of there. Which they in the end they are able to do so. And well, but Baxter, he's like, no, I'm out, and he flies off. And yeah, well, and then the turtles, Fishface and Dogbound, go separate ways. Like, okay, it's been a long day. We're gonna fight some other day. So yeah, pretty cool. I always like this, like this stories where the bad guys and the good guys they have to work together, but they don't really trust each other. And yeah, it's cool to see like Baxter trying to get some revenge. Once again, he's like more on the funny side in this version, but he's still like pretty smart. Like he built this whole thing. It's pretty cool. And yeah, but I guess that's it.
Yep, nope, exactly. And I forgot this is. Let's see it. You may recognize it. Do you know the movie Surf Ninjas?
Yes, with Ernie Reyes Jr.
There you go. Do you know that Karai is actually in Surf Ninjas?
You mean Kelly Who?
Yeah, isn't that
I
awesome?
I did not remember that. It's been a while since I've seen the movie.
Yeah, so there you go. I try to get anybody who's never seen that movie to watch it at least once because I enjoyed it. I think in my opinion, it's Rob Schneider's greatest movie. Obviously, Ernie Reyes for our turtle fans, it's a good one to just enjoy. The comedy's great. The movie's pretty cool too with the video game spot, and you get Leslie Nielsen from The Naked Gun. You get a whole bunch of other characters. I won't ruin it all for you in case you've never seen it, but I do recommend checking it out because you get Karai in that movie too. So take it away in the next episode here, The Enemy of My Enemy.
Yeah, this is once again where we see that Karai is not just evil. She's not just like the Shredder because she well, she meets up with the turtles and is like, "Hey, I've heard about this Kerrang and they're causing trouble. My father does not care about them, but I think they could be trouble." So there's this whole thing where uh, they're working together for a bit, and Shredder. On one hand, he's in the end he's at the docks because he's getting some weapons from like this weapons dealer called Steranko. Could he be another character later on? We will see. And on the other hand, the Krang, they have like this ship that's flying around the town, and they want to get all of this together to stop the Krang with the weapons from Shredder. But the turtles, they think, hey, we can also use this whole thing because Shredder is there. We can stop Shredder. So they, well, some way double cross Karai because they attack Shredder. And this is the moment like, hey, I trusted you, turtles. Our deal is over. You are now my enemies because you attacked. I know Shredder. He's not the best guy, but he's my father. So I this was not cool. So there's a big fight. Once again, a fight moment. The turtles fight Shredder. Once again, holy moly, Shredder is really dangerous. We see it again, and well, but in the end, Shredder gets his hands on Krang, which, well, we will see where this goes. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, once again, I really enjoy how the story carries over. I think they learned a lot from the 2003 series. I mean, you talked about there was a lot of continuation, whereas the 1987 series, besides the first 5 episodes and the incredible Trinky Turtles and a couple itty bitty ones, nothing really had two-parters or continuation. So again, it makes you get more excited as you continue on with this season here, and we'll go right into the next one here, Blackjack 21, Karai's Vendetta.
Yeah. Um, well, in this episode, the turtles once again have to stop the Krang because they are at this underwater base, and the turtles, we get introduced to the turtle sub, and they go down there to stop the Krang, and they run into this underwater monster creature. Yeah, that's that story. All the while, Karai goes after April because Shredder finds out from the Krang that they are after April. That's something that I forgot to mention from an earlier episode, that the turtles found out that the Krang want April. They want to kidnap April. Why? We're not sure now, but they are after April. So Shredder thinks so. This April O'Neil character could be important, so he sends Karai after her. April doesn't know who Karai or what Karai looks like, and so she meets her, and they're like, "Hey, you're cool. We could be friends." But well, then Karai shows like, "Hey, you know what? I'm Karai," and they there's like this whole chasing. Like Karai chases after April. They have a little fight, and April is actually able to. Get away from Karai because she's fighting back because April was training with Splinter for a while, and well, so now even Shredder is after April, so the turtles have to take care of her. They have to look after her, and well, that's yeah, that's that story for now.
Yeah, it just keeps getting better and better. We're running out of episodes here, guys. I believe we've got 5 more, and we're gonna come back with Mr. Pulverizer, and the Pulverizer returns.
Yeah, just as the title suggests, the Pulverizer returns. He's back in the turtles' life, and he's actually running with the Foot Clan now. And the turtles like, you know that they're the bad guys. Like, no, they're cool. They're just some cool ninjas. I want to be a ninja too, you know. And the turtles, yeah, they want to get him away from that. And um, but well, the Foot Clan, they get their hands on some mutagen because they want to power up their ranks too. And the Pulverizer is the first one, like, hey, I want to be a cool mutant too. Well, that doesn't work out because he gets some mutagen on him and he turns into like a freakish glob creature. And well, it's yeah, as I said, he's a funny little goofy character, but this whole thing, it was so tragic. Like he wanted to be a superhero, but he became like this mutant freak. And well, the turtles, they are able to like contain him, and they bring him to the turtles there. And Donatello's like, I will find a way to bring you back, to turn you back into your normal self. So it's like, oh, it's really a sad story there. But I gotta say that I think in this episode is one of my favorite gags of the whole show. Like at the start, when the turtles, they are fighting the foot ninjas, and they're like, "Hey, we're getting better. We're able to defeat them." And Mike is like, "Yeah, they're just like level one enemies." And they're like, "Hey, this is not a video game." And then one of the turtles like, "Oh, I found some coins. That you get the coin sound from Super Mario Brothers." It was one of my favorite gags ever.
Again,
Yeah,
especially for guys like us who grew up in the 80s and 90s. I mean, they made the show for kids, but it
exactly.
was just fun. You know, again, I don't have kids, and I didn't have kids at the time, but this would have been a great one to watch with my son or daughter if I had one, because they would enjoy it, as would I, looking for all these Easter eggs that we continue to get in every episode. Oh, so
Exactly. Yeah.
now this one was a little weird because, again, I'm just double checking on Wikipedia here. We had a little bit of a break in the action here. The Pulverizer came out in May of 2013. We didn't get the next episode until July, so we had a little, almost like a little summer vacation of Turtles here. So again, if it wasn't as bad as waiting, months and months like 2003, like we talked about those little gaps in episodes here in the
Yeah.
States, but we did have an itty bitty of a gap here for Parasitica.
Yeah, once again, a pretty creepy episode, little horror style there, because the turtles, they run into another mutant experiment of the Krang, like this mutant wasps, and well, it's Leonardo first who gets stung by like this mutant wasp, and he like gets very weird, very zombie-like, that he wants to protect like the egg of the wasp. Like we have to check it out. We don't have to destroy it. And well, it's like a little bit zombie-like because the turtles, they get bitten by each other after a while, and they turn into this zombie turtles that want to take care of this egg where this parasitic web wasp sort comes out. And well, in the end, Donatello is trying to tries to create an antidote, but he gets infected himself. So Mikey is the only one who's left, and actually Michelangelo is the one who saves the day, who saves his brothers from the parasitic wasps, because he actually remembers what Donatello was telling him. Like, hey, you have to do this and this and this, and then we have an antidote, and he's able to do it. He brings the turtles back, and so as we always say, as we said before, like Mikey, he when he really puts his mind to it, he can be one of the best. And here he proves it once again that he is able to do great things. So yeah, cool, funny, little creepy horror story there.
Yeah, and so far we're getting down to the end here. Is there anything you change about this show? Right now, I'd say no. I really enjoy how every turtle gets their own little spotlight in their own episodes. There's really nothing I'd change how they were going with all four of the turtles in this show.
I gotta agree. Story wise, I'm a big fan of it because we have this overarching storylines, and we get character development, which I'm a big fan. Which, as I said, in a classic cartoon, we did not really have. But starting with the 2003 cartoon, like we get bigger storylines, we get some twists and turns in the story later on. And as I said, I really like how this show takes its time, like with the characters. We get introduced to characters, we get to know some characters until something bad happens to them, until something like they get mutated or something like that. So it's cool that they take the time with the characters so that we get to know the characters. And yeah, big fan.
Yeah, you bring up a good point too. Just like with Chris Bradford, like they didn't get mutated immediately. So again, you get to
Yeah.
bond with them, and then oops, they get the Nickelodeon slime, so to speak, because Nick was big into slime back in the '90s. So, anyways, though, my friend, another one coming up here in Operation Breakout.
Yeah, well, the like Donatello is the one who finds out where April's father is held, and he wants to prove himself, so he goes there to like this it's like there's some holding cells where the Krang are keeping some of their prisoners. Donatello is able to sneak in there, and he's able to free Kirby O'Neill, April's father, but he also frees another character like some like an alien newt that's very Punisher like, who goes after Donnie, who goes after the Krang. There's he's called Donnie calls him the neutralizer. Once again, very funny scene because
Yes.
Donnie calls him, he's like a newt, we can call him the neutralizer. Oh, don't tell Mikey that I named him, he's really sensitive about this.
Oh yeah, I love that spot too.
So yeah, this is our introduction to the Neutralizer. Very interesting character. Like he's really brutal. As I said, he reminds me a bit of the Punisher with all the weapons, and he's hunting the turtles, hunting the Krang. Big fight. But hey, in the end, April's father is safe. But is there something wrong with him? We will find out.
You got that right. Just wanted to poke your brain for a second, not to stump you, just to get my own little shellanomics here. I like how they called him Kirby O'Neill. I'm sure that's for Jack Kirby, but was April O'Neill's father in any other turtle incarnation before this?
Yeah, he was like mentioned here and there, like in the classic comics. He was mentioned, but he never took on a big role here until this.
Okay,
I
cool.
try to remember, like no, that's what like the first. I mean, later with the IDW comics, he was in there with April's mother and April's father, but he really in the 2012 cartoon he really took on a bigger role
Nice.
overall. Yeah.
Now, is this the first time we get his name Kirby as well? Because I'm still trying to deep dive into the 80s and 90s comics, so I wouldn't know. Did they ever mention his name?
Um. I try to remember now. I
Yeah.
mean, in the IDW comics, we know it's John,
Okay.
but in the classic Mirage comics, I don't remember his name or if he even was mentioned. It was
Right.
definitely not Kirby. It was definitely
Okay.
not Kirby because Kirby was another character in the
Yeah.
comics.
I wonder if this was their way of paying homage to Jack Kirby, even though it's not, the
Yeah,
comics,
I
but
think so.
I'm guessing so, yeah. So, anyways, my friend, this is it. It's nitty gritty time here. I had a little bit of chills hearing that something was coming back in these two for Showdown. I like it. I want to hear your thoughts and take it away, buddy. The last two in season one.
Oh boy, what a season finale it was. Um, well, it turns out that Kirby was still under the control of the Krang, and he is like bringing April. He's kidnapping April, bringing her to Shredder at first, who gives April to the Krang because they are working together now. And but Shredder uses this to lure out Splinter to finally confront him. All the while, the turtles they are trying to stop the Crank from finally opening the portal to get something. At first, they seem to succeed, but no, they're not. The Technodrome comes out of the portal, comes to Earth, this gigantic machine from Dimension X, ready to take over the world. And well, there's a big fight. We get introduced to the leader of the Krang, who is Krang Prime. Once again, very cool, voiced by Roseanne. And yeah, they get their hands on April because she's she's like fine-tuned to this world because they want to terraform world to turn it into a new home for the Krang, to take over this world. And yeah, that's their plan. The turtles, they have to get into the Technodrome. They have to fight the Krang. They have to fight Krang Prime to save April. And all the while, Splinter goes to Shredder's headquarters and fights off everyone, fights Fish Face, fights Dogbound, no problemo there. And then he finally confronts Shredder. And dude, once again, the fights. Mm, this pure cinema. The fighting between Shredder and Splinter, this is so fantastic. But then Splinter sees Karai and realizes something, that Karai is not Shredder's daughter. Karai is actually Miwa, Splinter's daughter that he thought died. But no, Shredder, way back when when Splinter was still Hamato Yoshi, he took Miwa, the baby, took her from Splinter, and he raised her, and she hates Splinter. She hates Hamato Yoshi because Shredder told her that he took her mother from her. And so, yeah, so Splinter flees. He flees from Shredder, flees from this moment. All the while, the turtles are able to stop the Krang, stop the Technodrome. The Technodrome falls into the sea and sinks, and it's gone for now. But yeah, Splinter knows something that he's not ready to tell the turtles right now. But in the end, they have a big dance party. So for now, the turtles, they save the world. And what a finale! This is a season finale how it should be.
Yeah, I agree, dude. This is well done throughout from start to finish. How'd you like that plot twist too? I didn't mind it. I thought that was kind of a cool drop with Miwa. I was like, Miwa, huh? I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I had my thoughts that, like, there could be something, because it was always mentioned that Splinter had a daughter and Shredder has a daughter. Could there be a connection there? It was always something. Interesting. And yeah, it turned out that, like, okay, there's this big plot twist, as I said, like, it took them like half a season that we get there, like, okay, we know about Karai, but there's more to her. And it's it's gonna be one very interesting plot that's going on with Karai and the whole thing, who she really is, and so on and so forth. Like, okay, was not sure about this. I had my thoughts, but still, it really, like, oh, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be a very interesting storyline. And yeah, it's cool, very cool.
I think they had a master plan all along too, because no Casey Jones in season one. But don't you worry, Casey
Yeah.
Jones fans, he'll be here. But I guess they just wanted to be patient and they wanted to try out some new characters, like you say. Obviously, they want to try and get some of those toys out there with some new characters, some new vehicles, all the works. So, anyways, buddy, that wraps up season one. Final thoughts for me, and then we'll throw it back at you. It is really, really challenging to hit the pinnacle of a franchise and then come back. You know, you think of the Dark Knight movie with Christian Bale, how awesome that movie was, and then you had Dark Knight Rises. Still a good movie, but it's just hard to get up there. I mean, this show came after the 2003 series. Really, really big shoes to fill. Nickelodeon's first time, doing this. I enjoyed it. I look forward to getting to the next seasons with you. But from start to finish, like I say, first thoughts, as we did in the early part of this podcast episode here on YouTube and Spotify, I'm like, I don't know, but I gave it a shot. I'm very happy I did. A lot of my friends who are Turtle fans still liked it. The diehards liked it, as did I, especially with all the tributes to the 80s comebacks, your Easter eggs. So, final thoughts, Christian, on season one as a whole.
Yeah, this show really blew me away. This show really surprised me, because, as I said, it was at the start. It was it felt a little bit wonky with the CGI, but it gets better. I really got the feeling that with later on they got a little bit more budget, so it gets really better. And but from the start, like, they really they really did the best they could with the style, because, as I mentioned, the action, the martial arts. So That's so fantastic. It's like it blows my mind. And yeah, the whole storyline, the jokes, the humor, it all works so well. The voice actors, it all fits together so well. And as you said, it's like really you get the feeling that they had a big plan. It's like, okay, we're gonna this is what we're gonna do in season one, which brings us to season two, which brings us to season three. They knew they had like this roadmap. You get really the feeling they had this roadmap. They knew what they were doing, and like, hey, as I said earlier, like Shredder was working, what was getting some weapons from this character Steranko, and we don't see him again for like 2 seasons. He will come back and he will be a very interesting character later on. But like they really took the time, and as you said, no Casey Jones here. It was like, so okay, he does not yet fit here because we got those stories, but in season two he's gonna start to become a big part of it all. And so yeah, you can really get the feeling to know like, okay, we want to do this and this, but we're gonna take our time. We're gonna take our time with the story, we're gonna take our time with the characters. And really it works so well. They really did the best they could with this, with what they had with the CGI and everything. And as I said, I'm really a big fan, and it's, even if I was not a Turtle fan, I would still think this is a really good show. It's really good. So yeah, what can I say? Big fan.
Yep, nope, I agree all the way. And we've got so many more cameos coming that I can't wait to dive into. More returns of older TMNT voice actors from TV shows, the movies. It's going to be a lot of fun continuing this journey. But as we bring this show in for a landing, guys, if you want to hear more amazing podcasts, Christian, where can they find you, buddy?
Oh yeah. Hey, if you want, check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Talk, which is my podcast. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever, probably pretty much everywhere, or just check out the website tmnttalk.com. You can find all the links there, all the social media. Come on over, check it out. Maybe you think, hey, this guy, he knows his turtles, so maybe there's more for you. So check it out.
Christian's a real good dude. He's got also an amazing Discord full of Turtle fans in there. Me and him were having a couple of jokes in there earlier today about the multiverse that's coming with the Battle Nexus, and I'm like, hey, come on, man. The 1990 Turtles better sweep them. And you're like, hold on a minute. So it's always a good time.
We will see.
Yeah. Always a good time over there, too, my friend. You've got a great community. So, as always, my friend, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll see you back real soon.
Oh, you can bet on it, my friend.